the Rolls-Royce of country music, the sweetheart of the Grand Ole Opry, Miss Connie Smith, and country music's renaissance man, Marty Stuart. Marty and Connie, can you hear me all right?
We got you, Paul.
Good to talk to you, Paul.
You're coming in loud and clear down here in Tennessee.
Oh, thank you very much, and I'd like to thank you both for appearing here on my program. You're my favorite country singers and performers of all time, and this is just a thrill for me to have you on my radio program.
Well, you're one of our favorites up in the New Hampshire land.
Oh,
that's right.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Always look forward to seeing you out there.
Oh, thank you. I know your time's limited, so I guess why don't we get right down to it. Connie, do you mind if I start with you?
Not a bit.
Okay, so I guess I'll ask, first of all, how did you get your start in the music industry? I know you were living in Ohio.
Yes, I won a talent contest and got to sing on the Grand Ole Opry show that night, and an artist by the name of Bill Anderson invited me to come to Nashville and record some demo songs for him, songs he had written for other folks. And his manager took my tape to, Hubert Long was his name. He took my tape to Chet Atkins, and Chet signed me to RCA Victor. My first record was Once a Day, and it went to #1, stayed there 8 weeks, and I was in the business.
And, well, to date, Once a Day is still the longest song in country music history to stay at #1 on the country charts.
That's right.
And, well, that must make you feel pretty good, I would think.
Haven't I heard you sing Once a Day before, Paul?
I have, Marty, and it was actually with you.
That's right.
Up in Maine.
Kind of stole the show with it, what you did.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I could do that from you, Marty, though.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And, but Bill Anderson, Connie, when he first brought you to town, you were supposed to work the Ernest Tubb Midnight Jamboree with him, weren't you?
Yes, but Ernest had a date cancel, and he was in that week, and so he hosted the show. So he's the one that introduced my first song in Nashville on March the 28th, 1964, at the Ernest Tubb Record Shop downtown Nashville.
Now, was Loretta Lynn also on that show that night?
Yes, she was on that night. I got to meet Grant Turner, Loretta Lynn, and her husband, Du, and it was right before she had the twins.
And did you get to stand on her Coke crates?
Yes, I did.
I was just wondering about that. I'm curious, but and then, well, Once a Day came out, and we'll talk some more about your records. But right now, Marty, you mind if I ask you the same question?
Sure.
How did you get started in the music industry? I know you started playing mandolin and the guitar at about the age of 12, right?
Right. Well, I started my first band when I was 9.
9
A couple of guys in our neighborhood named Butch and Ricky Hodgins. We had a little band, and we just all played rhythm guitars. And I was kind of like you because I loved country music, even when all the kids around school didn't.
Sure, I know how that is.
As you well know, probably wasn't very popular. And we did songs like the Tiger by the Tail, The Wildwood Flower, Folsom Prison Blues, Wreck of the Old 97. And, you know, the world wanted to hear Beatles songs out of us, but I wanted to play country music. So that's how I got my start.
And in 1972, you befriended a member of Lester Flatt's Nashville Grass.
Roland White.
And he asked you not long after to join the band, didn't he?
Well, he invited me to Nashville just to kind of ride along for the weekend. And I came up to do that on Labor Day weekend in 1972. And Lester heard me playing and offered me a spot on his concerts that weekend up in at a bluegrass show in Delaware. And on the way, before we left the park, actually, on that Sunday afternoon, he offered me a job. And so that's how, and my mom and dad met with him a couple of weeks later, and they consented to give it a trial. So that was a long time ago, and I'm still doing it.
So you started out playing rhythm guitar for him, right?
Correct.
And then, after Roland White left the band, you started playing mandolin with the group. And you stayed with him until, what was it, 1978 when Lester disbanded the band?
Well, was it 78 or 79 when he passed away? I believe 79.
79.
And you may be right about it. He probably we did disband a few months before he passed away. Yeah. And
then on right before your 20th birthday, you were named a member of Johnny Cash's band.
Sure.
And what was that like, being a member of Mr. Cash's?
Well, I got a lot of nice black clothes.
You still wear some of them, don't you?
Sure, I love black. But I got to see the world. Lester was we toured the nation, went to Canada occasionally. But with Johnny Cash, he was a global star. And I got to go around the world and see the world from, that superstar's band's perspectives. And I really, really loved it. He was my hero when I was a kid. He and Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, they were the guys. That was the first two records I ever owned, was Flatt and Scruggs and Johnny Cash. And so he was my other hero, and I really loved working with him.
And in your music, I mean, you can see a clear bluegrass influence from Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, and then the strong rhythm from Johnny Cash's music, and you can really see kind of a fusion between those two. Right.
Well, coming from Mississippi, everything down there is kind of rhythm-based.
Sure.
And the whole state is kind of rhythm-based. And I love music that has powerful words, but it is twice as good to me when powerful words are combined with pretty melodies and great rhythm. And both of those people you were talking about, sure, they had great rhythm in their band. They influenced me.
And then in 1989, you had your commercial breakthrough with Hillbilly Rock. And the title track was a smash hit on that album.
Right.
And you want to tell us just a little bit about that album?
Well, I was proud of Hillbilly Rock in the fact that I've been struggling for a long time to try to get a hit. And Hillbilly Rock finally happened, and it gave me a reason to have a band and a bus and cowboy clothes and guitars and to travel and get to be a band leader. And I'll always be grateful to Paul Kennerly for writing that song and giving it to me. He was writing a lot of songs for the Judds at the time, and I know the Judds wanted that song real bad. But Kennerly was my buddy, and he favored me with that song, and I always appreciate that.
And you had released some great albums before that, though. The Busy Bee Cafe, which was sort of a jam style record, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't have a band, so I booked Earl Scruggs, Doc and Merle Watson, and Johnny Cash, and Carl Jackson, and Jerry Douglas to come be my band.
What a band.
Pretty good. Kind of hard to take on the road.
I bet. And, mind if we switch back over to you now, Connie?
No, that's fine. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, thank you.
Already, you can go ahead and talk to Marty if you want to.
No, you talk to Connie. She's prettier to talk to.
I'm just having the time of my life here.
She's the prettiest girl on the radio.
She sure is. In the world,
You betcha.
Paul.
Oh, you're welcome. And now some other hit records that you've had were Then and Only Then, If I Talk to Him, Ain't Had No Lovin', Cincinnati, Ohio. The list